Yeah, the anti-cheat one for sure.
Anti-cheat. So there's three total.
From COD? Or
yes.
COD updates?
Well, if you just go to the COD blog, you'll see them.
All right, yeah. We got the roadmap. Okay, this one was pinned. Got it. All right. Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to have to get this fucking cam figured out if I'm going to stream today, which I may not now. If I can go pick up that PC, which is a pretty beefy build. Are we live right now?
Yes, sir.
It's not changing the title on Twitter.
I know. I don't know why I did that. They updated their UI and something didn't update. Whatever.
Yeah.
Change it manually on Twitch.
All right.
Cool. All right. Looks like everything's here. For once. All right, I'll send it.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 80 of the Slightly Above Average Gaming Podcast. I am J007TV, joined, as always, by the homie Sub1KD. Just a reminder, we are live over on our Twitch page at twitch.tv/SAAG Podcast. So if you guys would be so kind to give us a follow over there, we would greatly appreciate it. But, yeah, we got a very special episode. We had a lot of information come out. What's up, Sub? How you doing, bud?
Oh, doing all right. It's been a wild day over here. We had, so my in-laws went out of town and left their dog with us, a 70-pound puppy. And, holy shit, it was, it was interesting. I got about 3 hours of sleep tonight.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I originally got 5 hours, but then, like I told you, I went back to bed.
Yeah, I took a little nap.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, I fell asleep, and then I had this... You ever fall asleep and you have, like, the weirdest nightmare? And you're like, what the hell was that all about?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Ran around the house trying to find a scorpion in my dream. And I found it because it stung my foot, and that woke me up, and then my foot hurt all morning. I was like, what the hell?
I don't know, man. I be having some weird ass dreams too, bro.
Yeah, so I usually don't remember my dreams if I have any. So that was weird.
Yeah, but
yeah. Otherwise good. Have an interesting story to tell. I was at my wife last week or earlier this week left me unattended in a thrift store. And in browsing around, I came across a pretty nice 75-inch TV. So I bought it.
How much?
I didn't ask my wife. I just bought it and threw it in the truck. And then got it home, and it works really well, but it has like a couple little weird issues. And so I wrote the company, and I was like, so I have this TV, and it's having these weird issues. And the company says, oh, that's because there's an open recall on them. And they asked for the serial number off of it, and apparently the previous owners just got rid of it instead of like contacting them. So this afternoon they will deliver a new TV to me
for $150.
Yeah,
some people have all
75-inch 4K.
Well, you know, and I've heard of people getting like real gems out of like thrift stores and like Goodwill like that before. I think somebody had posted on Twitter either last year or the year before, they found like a brand new Herman Miller fucking chair in
my dream.
Yeah, in Goodwill or whatever, and paid only like a couple $100 for it or something. And that's like a $2,000 or $3,000 chair, ain't it?
Yeah, it's the base model is about $1,890 or something like that.
Nice.
I used to have one of my companies I worked at, and they were amazing. The Embody. My butt just dreams of that chair on a regular basis. Whenever it has to sit in something uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, we once had an Embody chair. You could have stayed in tech and had that too.
Yep. No.
Honestly, they offered me the chair for like $500, and I didn't take it, and I regret that now.
Yeah.
Bummer.
That sucks, bro. That sucks.
Bummer.
Well, I am also, speaking of tech, I should be getting my paddles soon. AIM reached out to me, and they're sending me a paddle. So
sweet.
Hopefully I can get that soon, because I'd like to start using my controller again. I mean, the Power A's working,
Yeah.
But yeah. And then as far as other tech goes, dude, I'm going to be grabbing a new PC this weekend.
That's right. I'm excited for that, because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely a needed improvement as you continue to have issues as your streaming laptop gives up the ghost slowly.
Bro, I'm seriously going to play See You at the Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony, or maybe the Arnold Schwarzenegger version. I don't know which one when I'm done with this, but
and just burn it to the ground.
It's funny because and I told my wife I've had this issue, like I've had a tech issue every day for the last 3 weeks in one form or another. The latest one, if you'll notice, my camera is different. My fucking webcam won't turn on. That I have plugged into it. So I'm irritated about that. But that's just been one of
that irritate me too.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get my webcam. So like again, when I fire up my stream, before I do that, I go through a check and make sure everything's working. And the capture card, now I have to check to see if my webcam turns on. That one just started within the last few days or whatever.
And your mic's been low. Your mic's volume's been low.
Well, and I don't understand why. The gain is turned all the way up. I don't know. I
turn it up on your board.
Yeah, I turned it up on the board and on here.
Is it all the way up right now?
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's all the way up on this.
Oh, you sound much better now.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's probably under your. Well, okay. So I think we narrowed it down to his laptop is having problems delivering power, which means that it's not powering your mixer properly. So your mixer's probably doesn't have enough power to lift your mic properly.
Probably not.
Ultimately,
I mean,
is the issue.
Yeah. So, well, the other day I was streaming. I think this was Thursday. It was, and that's when we identified what the problem was. And I don't want to take any of the credit for it because my buddies actually did. They hopped in. We go to drop in the first game. Fucking audio goes out. Like I hear game audio, I can hear that, but I could not hear them in Discord or they couldn't hear me. So while I'm checking, it took me 20 minutes of starting my PC up, my laptop, and restarting and unplugging and plugging everything back in. And they were like, well, we Googled this and it looks like, with your Rode, you're not getting enough power. That laptop is a common issue with the Rode mixing boards. So
welcome to America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. What a mess. What a mess. So, but we are surviving. We will get through. Hopefully your wife will sign off on the new PC.
Oh, she already did. And I've already got a Micro Center credit card. A credit account opened up, and Jigsy went through when he got home yesterday and made a build, and I just need to see if and it includes a monitor. It was like $3,000 and it had a 5070 in it, an AMD processor. Like there was, because Micro Center will do these bundles, so like there was a bundle for like a motherboard, a processor, and something else as part of it for like $699. And then, all the fans that you need.
What was the processor you were getting?
Hang on, I'll pull it up. It is, I need to print this out. So I might be going to Micro Center today. It's the AMD Ryzen 9 9900X.
Okay.
Actually, dude, I'll send you this link. It's controls.
Any reason you didn't go with the X3D?
I don't know. I didn't build it. He did. He did.
Fair.
Which is, I trust him. I mean, I think he was probably just trying to keep
cost down.
Yeah, and keep it with.
Well, the nice thing is you can swap that out down the road. Like that's an easy upgrade.
There we go.
And then that
I just messaged
9900X will sell for probably $250 or $300, something like that.
Well, and I tried to.
They might not have it in stock. That thing goes in and out of stock in a hurry. So
yeah,
I got lucky with mine.
I tried to buy it this morning, but it said you can't buy. Like, there's some things you can't buy online, like the monitor. Because I'm just gonna go with like another monitor because I'm gonna be losing one. Right, that like this laptop is going away.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be losing one. So I need to have another one that's gonna be vertical, so I can have my chat and everything else in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to having one thing that'll do everything. So that way, if there are issues, which that reminds me, I'm gonna end up having to reset up fucking voice meter and the sound stage and all that shit, aren't I?
Yeah, I'll work when you get it set up. Let me know. I'll work with you. I'll walk you through it.
Well, what I was gonna do is I was gonna go through and like take either screenshots or like photos of the settings of everything
Smart.
in it, so that way,
Yeah.
you know, I want to try to do most of this shit myself. You know, so
It's how you learn.
yeah, yes.
It's how you learn.
So anyway, man, we had a very interesting week, a very interesting couple of days with, I mean,
Call of Duty,
a massive
among other things,
news dump. You know, for Verdansk and the anti-cheat, which we're going to cover both things. But what did you? So as far as the blog, the original blog, what are your thoughts there?
Well, okay, so we had, excuse me, frog in my throat today. So we had a couple of blogs. We had the Intel drop, and then we had kind of the announcement blog for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So two blogs, one for Warzone, for Verdansk specifically. Well, there were two for Verdansk. One talked about the map specifically, and the other one kind of talked about everything going into Warzone. And then they had the season 3 blog, which kind of double covered some of that, but also did some other stuff as well. So for season 3, let's see here, for Verdansk, we'll start with Verdansk, because I think, let's start with the season 3 blog, because I think that had some multiplayer stuff. We'll get multiplayer out of the way, and then season 3 will be an interesting, we can just dive into season 3 or Verdansk and go from there. But when you look at it, this is one of the more packed seasons we're going to have. Obviously, Warzone and Verdansk are heavily featured. Zombies is getting a new map, which I don't care about because I don't like round-based zombies. I don't find it interesting. But for zombies people, I think that's exciting. So that's cool. And there's some other shit going. Like zombies get some other shit. What do they get? They got the new map. They got a new perk, I think. A death machine, some wonder weapons, and something else when you play with other people or something like that. Not really sure. But they're continuing. They haven't dropped the ball. I will give Activision this. Like they've done this in past iterations where they emphasize one thing and everything else kind of gets canned, right? Like they don't give you anything if you're, if they're focusing on multiplayer, like Warzone gets shafted. If they're focusing on Warzone, on zombies, everything else gets shafted. There's a lot for everybody in here. So I think that's cool.
That's the way it should be, man. I mean, if you're going to have all these modes, you got to make sure you support them all at least. And obviously you prioritize based on what's bringing you the most cash based off your data, so.
Yeah. So we got the, let's see here. Where is that? Okay. The Verdansk season 3 events, obviously Verdansk focused, but they're doing actually a Black Ops tribute event, which is kind of cool, starting mid-April. So you get some zombie stuff. You get the nail gun. The nail gun is coming back. That slipped through the cracks a little bit. Do you remember that from Cold War?
Yeah, I didn't.
Dude, that was always one of those ones. If you pick it up and you got a kill, it was just hilarious. Like I found it hilarious. Maybe everybody else didn't, but for me, you pick it up and it's like that shit's funny. And then they have an operator, I think, or calling card. Yeah, they have an operator that like blacked out dude, and some blueprints. So cool event. I don't remember if it's all. I think it's just XP event. So another L on the another L event, but it's there. Battle Pass actually looks pretty cool. Rose is coming back, the OG Rose.
So I used to not embrace the cheese. I would call you a bitch and everything else under the sun if I caught you wearing that kind of outfit. But I'm to a point now where
but then ranked came.
I'm embracing the cheese when it comes to pay to win skins. I'm still rocking the Terminator, and I find it hilarious that now there are still people who want to try to buy it but can't. Bitches. Yeah, so I'll be rocking Rose for sure.
Yeah. Although, it's curious because if they do the lighting right, Rose won't be OP.
Yeah, that's true too.
It'll stand out. You know what is going to be OP, I think? The Sasquatch one. Yeah. So when Modern Warfare 2 came out, they had a bunch of promotions. One of them was Jack Link's promotion, and they had the Sasquatch event, I
remember that
operator, and so it's just in a tan ghillie suit, right? Like a kind of like an OD tan mix, which didn't work for Al Mazrah because it was a fucking desert, right? And there were no trees and there were no shrubs. There's no grass, so you didn't blend into anything. And the other thing is nobody could really get it. It was hard to get because people were stealing all the tags off of the thing. They were putting the tags on the outside of the packages. So when you went to the store, they would have the you could just peel off the ticket to get the reward, and people would just go and steal them all off. Like the first day they put them out, they just took all of them. So no matter what you did, you couldn't do it. They were gone. And then Walmart and everybody else flipped out because everybody was stealing that shit. So they pulled it off the shelves. Yeah. So it's actually really rare to have. If you have it, good for you. You're in a good spot.
Do you have it? Were you able to get it?
No, because they stole it all. It was the one that I didn't get. I didn't care though because it was no good. Now I'm kind of like, that sucks. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, Rose might not be OP because of the lighting. So I'm very curious to see that. How that shakes out. Let's see here. Black Cell's doing Black Cell shit. Bunch of stuff in there.
This season, I'm just gonna say, if you're running Warzone, and we're gonna talk about some of the weapons that are coming, but if there was ever a season to run the Black Cell and get the 20 tier skips, it's this one.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. But we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the implications on that in a minute because they're doing some fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Hudson comes back as an operator.
Yeah, that operator actually looked kind of cool. Like it kind of looked, because here's the thing, dude. So it seems like for a season and a half, they've gotten into all this crazy shit like unicorn farting and all that other stuff. And Hudson actually kind of looks like a badass, bro.
Yeah, well, what else is also badass? Jay and Silent Bob are back. This is not their first go. Before anybody jumps down their throat, this is not their first go around. They've been in COD multiple times.
I was unaware of that.
They're like Snoop Dogg. Yeah. I forget which game they were in, but they've been in here before. So obviously they've got a new movie coming out, trying to cling on to the past, I guess. Happens. The number of people who have no idea who Jay and Silent Bob are is just horrifying to me.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it, dude. Like
Clerks was 30 years ago. So
yeah, we're fucking old as shit.
We're old.
And and
the new Clerks sucks.
I didn't
see it. I didn't see it either because it looks like it sucks. But yeah, they've got some skins coming out. There's some other goofy shit, but they are bringing back some other cool stuff. And so it'll be an interesting mix. It'll be fun to see what they do with that. But operator and pay to play bundles or whatever, are all going to be around. So as they do every season, you can give them your money,
right?
And then let's see here. And then for Verdansk, we'll talk to you about that in a minute. They did update Black Ops 6 to actually handle the new AMD FSR 4, which I didn't realize this until I was looking at some of these cards. Did you know that they are optimized primarily for AMD cards?
Yeah, you told me that yesterday. That's interesting.
Yeah, they are aimed at the 9070 XT as their main card. Obviously you can brute force it, but you look at the cost of some of these other cards and you look at what the returns are showing on it. Like they are an AMD company for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, it's funny because when I brought that up to the guys last night, they were like, "Yeah, there's other games that are mainly optimized for AMD as well. Like Call of Duty's not the only one, but I always thought it was Nvidia.
It was Nvidia, and I wonder if they changed it after Nvidia screwed them with MW2. Because you remember MW2 launched, and people had tons of problems playing MW2 and playing Warzone 2. Tons of problems. Is that why I
was disconnecting? Was that the DC?
It was crashing. Yeah, it was a huge problem because Nvidia released an update to their firmware with the launch of the 40 series, and when they did that, they didn't apparently tell Call of Duty. So Call of Duty launched right on top of the new 40 series and the new update. So everybody who updated their drivers got screwed, and they had tons of problems. And I'm trying to remember if some of the stuff that they included in that update, some of the Nvidia stuff, actually was contributing to bans. Because if you remember, there was a lot of people that were getting banned in playing the game, and it turned out it was just benign software that ran in the background. Like it would be what is it? Razor's RGB software was problematic, and so was, and I think Nvidia had some stuff that was like triggering bans in the background because it was just running that shouldn't have triggered bans. So that was cool. So I can see them saying like, "Screw you, Nvidia," or AMD paid them money. Take your pick. Either one works. But it does seem to be more optimized, more designed around the 9070 series. From the testing that I've seen that people have done on it. So that's fascinating to me because that's not normal. But yeah, so that's kind of like a lot of the content. And I think they've got, where is it? The multiplayer gets some new maps. They get reskin of one of Nuketown. It's kind of like a get high, like a stoner vibe. Some new modes coming out and new perks again. So that'll be fun.
I don't really care about the perks. And you know what's funny is I find myself playing less Black Ops 6 now than I had previously. I mean, I still have like 8 days into Black Ops 6, but I've honestly been having a good enough time in Warzone to where I'll play a little bit of Black Ops 6 and then play Warzone the majority of my night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the cycle, right? Like 6v6 multiplayer is great for a while, but you can only run the same thing over and over again for so long before you get bored.
Well, the other thing is I get on early, so that's part of the issue and why I'm solo queuing it. But like solo queuing it is fucking maddening to me. Like it legitimately is. And I mean, to me, it's a little different. Like I would never solo queue Warzone or Resurgence or whatever. Like I would never do that. But in multiplayer, you don't really have a choice, right? You can't just turn squad fill off. So yeah, like it's just maddening trying to manage wins and losses and, also ranking up weapons, which I haven't really been working on the last 2 or 3 times because I'm like, shit, I got to run my fucking sweaty class. I got fucking YY Zoom kid running by me with a goddamn fucking jackal that's all fucking meted up, I'm trying to work on this PPSH that shoots fucking marshmallows. So
yeah, just level that up in the gulag. That's what I've been doing.
It's leveled up. I'm trying to get the camo. Yeah, it's max.
Oh, well, you're screwed then.
Yeah, it's max. I'm trying to get them headshots, dude. I'm serious. That thing is a damn hit marker machine, bro. It's fucking sucks. Awful.
Especially multiplayer. It's rough.
Yeah.
Not my yeah. Forget about it. But yeah, so ranked is same old, nothing changed. I take that back. They are going to, so we'll touch base on this in a little bit, but they're going to actually start issuing retroactive SR if a cheater turns out in your lobby. So like if you play a match and you lose, and so you lose SR, and you lost, and it turns out the other team had a cheater in it, they'll refund your SR, and I think they'll go back 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks from when you play a match against a cheater, if that cheater gets banned, you'll get your SR back. So I think that'll be a good thing for a lot of folks, especially if you're playing multiplayer, because if you run into a cheater in Warzone, depending on where you are in the game, it may or may not really do you too much damage, right? You die, maybe you lose a little SR, maybe not. If you make it, past the halfway, unless you're like Crimson or Eerie, you're probably gonna be okay. But like in multiplayer, you can't gain SR unless you win, right? So if you have a cheater on the other team, you cannot gain SR. Like you will only lose SR. So I think that's huge for the multiplayer guys and gals. We're not
Jigsy and Money have been playing a lot of multiplayer ranked lately.
Yeah.
I played it a couple times and just got absolutely fucking destroyed the last time I played it. And I usually do pretty good in multiplayer, and I could not catch a fucking break. So I haven't really.
Well, I played it, and it came out MW2 is they brought it out last time I played it, and honestly, it sucked because you can't solo queue on that, right? Because you get stuck with the teammates that just don't understand the game. It's like stand in the square. You stand in the square. You aren't killing anybody. Stop trying. Stand in the square.
Yeah, you have to play roles.
And they won't do it. Like they'll just like stare at the square and go around it so that they don't like show up on the mini map. They're like so afraid of it. And it's like it's the objective, buddy. This ain't regular multiplayer. It's ranked. Like the objective is all that matters.
You have to get crosses.
Everything else is stupid. And I just was like, I was the best player in like 3 straight games. Most kills across both teams, most points, most everything. Like I was him. And I lost SR, or I got 0 SR in 3 straight games because my teammates could not stand in the fucking square. And I never played it again.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking stupid.
Well, early on, Jigsy and I we duoed into that, and we were just kind of getting frustrated because, I'm playing the objective, he's the fragger, but we weren't having people rotate on the hard points like we're supposed to, cutting off crosses and, holding lanes and that stuff, which is what you're supposed to do.
Because people don't know how to play that. They don't know how to play.
And I mean, like, I didn't give a fuck about my kills. I was just trying to hold the objective, which, hardpoint has actually...
Which is the point of ranked.
Yeah, hardpoint has actually become my favorite mode, but I don't ever get to play it because I'm solo queuing multi, and I'm just not going to fucking... I have no interest in trying to play the objective and die 37 times while my teammates are back there playing a mode working on their fucking camo. I've said that several times, so I just don't do it.
Yeah.
I try to play modes I can actually make more of an impact on the result. And I still struggle and win about half of my matches and lose. It's funny how they'd work that out too.
Yeah, it's just it's annoying. So, so I don't play ranked in multiplayer. I'll play it in Warzone, but I don't play it in multiplayer for reasons previously specified.
I've only played it twice in Warzone this season. Part of it for me, the other thing is too, is like I'm trying to play ranked with King, and I get on early and this motherfucker's taking a nap or whatever, and by the time he gets on, it's like 6:30 or 7, and I'm just like, I'm already in my pubs mode, dude. Like I'm fucking here mentally. I'm not, so I don't end up playing ranked that day. So I got to find a few more people to kind of be able to plug in, I think, with that too.
Fair. Yeah, I've played a little bit with some buds, but my friend has gotten into high like Diamond 3 or something now at this point. So it's kind of like, so he's pulling everybody, and it's been sub-ideal.
I mean, shit, dude, it's been like that for us. Even when we were in gold, it hasn't really mattered.
Yeah. I solo queued in as bronze 3 last time I played on my own. And literally it was like bronze 3, I had a silver 1 and a bronze 2 on my squad. And I got killed by a team of Crims.
I think
go figure.
I think the player count when we move into Verdansk, which we'll talk about, that will go up, and it's not going to. I don't think it'll quite be like it is today.
Yeah, I hope not. I assume that the match that ranked this season has just been abysmal because the player count is so low. So I think that's one of those things where it's like it will self-correct, right? overtime. So that's kind of what's coming for the zombies, and that's what's coming for multiplayer. But we have this new map coming. Did you hear about this new map? Have you ever heard about this place before?
Maybe. Sounds familiar.
It rings a bell. I can't put my finger on where I've heard this name before, but it's this place called Verdansk.
Yep.
Oh. And they're bringing Verdansk in on Thursday.
We're going to be taking a little road trip, baby. My guy sent me this Christmas card.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah.
So we're going to Verdansk, dropping on Thursday. So if you haven't heard, Thursday, Verdansk goes live on April 3rd. The season actually starts April 2nd. Hold on one second.
Bless you.
Sneeze my pants off. And so Warzone will shut down on the 2nd. So we won't get to play Warzone on the 2nd. It is multiplayer or bust. However, they're doing a cool thing. They are bringing in, they're doing a little mini event. If you have played the old school Verdansk 84 on your account, you can actually log in and get extra rewards. But on day one, they're going to have, let me see, where is the specifics on this? Where did they put that? Let's see. Here we go. So returning to Verdansk, instant unlocks. Okay, so if you played Verdansk before, so they have this returning event. If you log in on the 2nd, right, you get the Kilo 141 immediately. You also get two Domino and Milsim Rando dude. Then they have let's see here. Then if you log in, you played at Verdansk, you get a parachute, a gun screen, and chemtrails, which is kind of cool. I like that.
Where the fuck do you put those on? I can't find it. My shit reset to the stock thing. Where the fuck does that go on?
It's in the customization option, I believe.
I
So kind of like we're in the same menu where you set your calling. Their menus are all screwed up. They're so bad right now. I don't know why
two ways to customize shit, and I'm trying to figure, because like I have the Black Ops 6 flag, and I think I hope that what you were just telling us is the start of them doing more with the contrails and the parachutes, because like I feel like those should be like more part of bundles. Like, so there's more variety. Like, I think
that would be cool.
I think
the
that's
fact
cool.
that they haven't done that enough. They've only done one parachute, right? Or two parachutes. The one that changes colors, and then there's an orange one. And one contrail, I think, like a black one.
You get one with the Black Ops 6. Like, if you bought the Ultimate Edition for Black Ops 6,
Oh, yeah, maybe they add another one for that. But yeah,
and somehow
they don't have enough. What a waste.
It's not on there.
What a waste.
I don't understand what's going on with it, but anyway,
and then so in the event itself, they have calling cards and stickers and some other shit. And then you the reward for completing the main event is literally Cali sticks. Those are back.
Makes me wonder if they're going to bring back the fucking riot shield, dude.
So I forget who was saying that, but they were saying the riot shield was creating problems of some sort. And potentially there was some sort of problem with the riot shield. That's why they didn't bring it in. That's why they don't have it in Warzone right now. There was an issue with it, and it's either because something to do with the movement in the Omni movement was creating problems with it, or the dedicated melee slot was creating problems.
I mean, it doesn't break my heart that I'm not running into 37 of those every fucking solos match, but
right.
I mean, they're bringing back the thermite too. So I don't know if you saw that. I mean,
I did.
You know, I don't know.
But yeah, so they might bring that back. Like, so we'll talk about the movement change in a minute. But like, there's a couple. You know, it could easily be, it could easily be that they were going to fix it, but why fix it twice, right? If they're going to reset everything, like you just like they've done with everything else, you just roll it into the big update. There's no point in releasing an update for the old map
Mm-hmm.
and then having to redo it because you're changing stuff anyways. So fix it once and call it done. So I can see a path to bring it back because we have 2 in the game. We have MW1 and MW2 riot shields, or MW2 and MW3 riot shields. So they definitely exist. There's no point no reason not to have them. We could see it back. I can see that.
Do you think they'll stick with kind of the way they're doing it now, where you get that dedicated melee slot? Like, do you think they'll stick with that?
Potentially. Honestly, I would like to see them kind of expand that slot a little bit. I would love to see them open up that slot for launchers too.
Oh, like let somebody have a launcher instead of like a melee?
Yeah, and then get rid of your, but the trade-off is you don't get unlimited tax sprint.
Yeah.
Or get rid of tax sprint completely, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would be up for that. I could see them getting rid of it too. Like, it could go either way. I'm not going to lie. But they have a cool event. They have the POI safe event. So in every major POI, right? Dam, military base, quarry, storage, stadium, etc.
Mm-hmm.
In that area, there's a hidden safe. And if you open the safe, you get one of 3 things. You either get a bunch of ground loot, like good ground loot, a zone reward, so it's a reward from the event,
Mm-hmm.
and it's apparently random, and everybody gets it, right? Or there's a special reward, so there's like extra stuff that you can get. And I forget did they say what it is? Let's see here. They called it mastery rewards. So there's a special operator skin, and some other stuff. So there's some cool stuff. So this is the first time they've actually done a cool event in the Black Ops 6 era, in my opinion. Like, this sounds like a cool event. Like, it's gonna be what the kind of stuff where it gives you something to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's
like, I feel like they haven't done that before this year.
Sounds like they have just been cooking, to be completely honest. And so, when they first announced that we were not going to really get much content for season 2 because they were loading up on season 3, and we said on this very podcast, that's fine as long as season 3 hits. I think it's going to, dude. I mean, I'm not trying to say Warzone is back, but at the same time, based on things that I've seen so far, Warzone is back.
Don't say that yet. If anybody clips that, I disavow that statement.
No, he believes it. He told me it offline.
I need to see, look, I'm going to say this. We're going to get excited about all this shit they're talking about because they're talking about some cool shit, but straight up, they can say all they want. And they're saying everything we need to hear. They are saying it. And that doesn't matter because it has to be delivered.
No, of course.
They have to deliver it for Warzone to be saved, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just it. Okay? But they are saying all the right things. I'll give them that. Okay? That's my statement on that. My caveat.
Hey,
as you will.
So we know my mic is quiet. I'm having some tech issues, which are going to be squared away hopefully this weekend. So
yeah, just a heads up.
Yeah, it's frustrating because this cam looks like
Yeah.
shit too. This is not even my good webcam, and I'm fucking irritated by it.
Yeah. Yep. Your laptop is dying. So we talked about that top of the episode. Anybody who joined late. So cool. So great event, and bringing back Kali sticks, bringing back, maybe we'll see what's it called, Riot Shield, the Kilo 141. Everybody gets, and they kind of make it sound like the Kilo is going to come leveled. They talked about that at some point, or somebody did.
Well, I mean, it would kind of be one of the solutions to what you and I have talked about the previous 2 or 3 episodes with, what are they going to do for the people that are coming back, that don't have anything leveled or whatever. But I mean, my plan is to go through and do this thing that you're talking about on the second and just level it in multiplayer. Like just spend the night of the second and just get it leveled, which
Yeah, just get it up.
I've got a shit ton of tokens, so I don't really care. It won't take me that long.
Yep. And then let's see here. The hidden safes. Also, we're getting back the so the Kilo 141 comes at launch. And let's see here. Players will automatically unlock the Kilo 141 for use in Black Ops 6 and Call of Duty Warzone after downloading and launching Warzone following launch of Season 3. And or
that's right,
we get in multiplayer. And then also coming is Battle Pass Page 6. So right in the wheelhouse of Black Cell is the AMAX. AMAX will be out.
Page 6. So if it's on 6 with 20 tier skips from the Black Cell.
Don't forget you can unlock you with the Black Cell, you can take any locked tier and do that up front.
You know what I wish they would do? I wish they would go back to the tiles we had last year. I don't really like how they do the Black Cell this year.
I just don't like how they do it's just annoying to have pages of it. Just either give us a linear list across the board
or a map
or not. Like the pages is I think it's stupid.
I like the map.
Yeah. I didn't choose your own adventure. I could get what I want and then put it on auto and not care until it was done. But that's out of our hands. So that'll be there. So if you buy the Black Cell, you can have the AMAX and the Kilo up front, and then page 3 is the HVT. I'm sorry, not the HVT. The HDR.
Oh, it's in page 3?
Which is going to come back. Yeah. So you definitely, earn your way to that one, and then use your free unlock if you do the Black Cell to get the AMAX up front.
Did you hear what the I forget the guy's name, but the lead guy from Raven said about
you
the
can
HDR?
Ding somebody at 500 meters. You can get them with the HDR, unlimited range. I approve.
The proof is in the pudding. But
bullet velocity is going to matter. We don't know what the BV will be until Monday.
Yeah.
But hopefully
it's going to matter on all of them.
They actually say bullets will have a lower muzzle velocity, but remain devastating even at very long ranges. So it'll probably suck for you probably won't be able to reach out and touch somebody across the map, but who knows? Cali 6 are coming back, and then the monolithic suppressor comes back. The old standby. So, which will actually be nice because it is going to kind of act as the previous monolithic did, where it boosts your range and velocity, but you lose ADS and some other penalties.
I'll probably go back to running a suppressed weapon then, because I haven't run suppressed, I think, this iteration hardly at all.
There's been no reason to, because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no, I think I will go back to running a suppressed gun.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think it'll depend on the gun too. The AMAX might need some control. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, that'll be fun. Let's see here. And then Verdansk itself. So Verdansk is going to be about 95% of the original Verdansk at launch. They will open train station. They will open stadium down the road. So we're not going to get those up front, but they will be open later.
I liked that train station.
More or less confirmed that. Potentially, but at the end of the season, we might not have to wait for seasons for this to happen. And then let's see here. So a lot of updating. The lighting we've seen looks dramatically improved. You mentioned this when we talked about the rose skin, but the lighting looks. They talked about this this week or last week. I don't remember. They talked about this in a post, and they kind of they said they made the lighting different, and they redid the whole lighting engine, which is super cool. Again, we have to wait and see, but the screenshots that they've shared dramatically different, especially when people compare them against their imagery from the OG map, OG Verdansk. It's been great. They just I'm calling this a quality of life update. Any parked vehicle that isn't drivable looks more like a smoldering wreck, so that you can tell at a glance what you can grab and what you can't. I think that's a W. I don't think right now vehicles don't matter as much because they just suck, and there's no reason to because you have balloons. However, being able to being able to look at a glance now that vehicles are going to be more important, and know what you can drive and what you can't, I think is going to be a huge quality of life bonus that you wouldn't notice unless somebody told you about it. You know what I mean? Swimming comes back, but it's only really along the southern coast. Again, I accept to change that. I accept because how many times did we end up bouncing around the the bottom perimeter of the map? You throw a loadie and it hits a rock and lands in there, or you jump over the seawall to try and avoid somebody shooting at you, and then you slip down you slip off a pebble, and now you can't get back up and you just die because there's no way up. There's no way up the wall. Your super soldier couldn't climb rocks back in the day. And it was just and then there was that whole section at the start of the canal where the water jutted into like the main part of the map. So if you were trying to parachute to prison or something, or from prison to port, and you crossed over that little section, you'd be out of map. That was annoying. So all that goes away. The bottom of the map will have some accessibility, but it doesn't infiltrate. They said that it won't go anywhere else. The water just stays at the bottom of the map. So perfect. Makes the bottom, they redid the bottom shoreline so there's accessibility, so you can get up and down. I think it's good. I think that's a good change. And they're not putting it in like other places. Like they didn't flood the canals, right? They didn't make the dam water swimmable. So it's not going to affect really the flow of the game, but it is going to solve some of those edge cases.
Hang on.
If that makes sense. So that's good. Let's see here. They've adjusted some of the terrain, so hopefully there will be areas that are more accessible. If everybody remembers, the top left corner of the map, that kind of northeastern section, east of Dam, you could have circles end there. And anybody who didn't pre-rotate would be cut off. They couldn't get up, and there's no path up. So the circle would just end on top, and you would just win by default, because everyone would die in gas. I've won that way. So that goes away, in theory, some of that at least. They've adjusted some of the heights of poles and trees. Let's see here. Some of the rooftops are being made more accessible. They put ladders and stuff. Zip lines are coming back. But they're not going to be there at launch. There won't be a lot of external zips. I think they said they only put a few in, but they're going to add a bunch more. And then doors will swing both ways, and you can shoot them open like you can in BO6, which I guess is a W. I guess. Sure, I'll take it. Let's see your ascenders. The lighting has been redone. Some of the haze has gone away. So draw distance is better. Interior lighting, spiffing up some of the exterior, which is good. One thing I hope they don't screw up is adding fake doors and windows, because my God, Urzikstan is just fake door. It's probably a 2-to-1 fake door ratio.
I still hit those sometimes thinking I can go in. I don't do it all the time because I'm aware, but that still happens to me sometimes.
It's like you run into a building, you're in the middle of a firefight. It's like, I got to go out there. I got to get somewhere. And it's like, oh, shit, I can't get out here. I got to go up 18 flights of stairs before I can find a way out.
Yeah. Well, they have, it's funny.
Stupid.
They have, over there kind of by Lowtown, like right now, they have one of those buildings. It's a building, and then right next to it looks like a little shack. There's literally one way in it. It's like you jump over like a door that's turned sideways, but then they have another door on the back side. You'd think you'd be able to go out of that. Nope.
You
can't.
I got stuck in there the other day. Buildings where There's a couple of buildings where you can get stuck in it, like especially if you're running from the gas and you're being shot at and you duck into a building thinking I'll cut through it and go out the other side. Now all of a sudden you've got to run through the gas. It's stupid. Stupid. Get rid of them all. All of them. Every fake door should go away. If it's a door, you can go through it. That's how it should be. Let's see here. All right. Verdansk is back. So Omni movement adjustments. So they're making some changes to movement. Now, we had heard repeatedly off and on over the last year, 16 months or so, Omni movement was going to go away or come back. And it sounded like they were kind of hemming and hawing on it. And they weren't sure what they were going to do. And it sounds like what they're going to do is actually going to slow it down a little bit. I'm not sure what that means exactly and how that will feel. But they're scaling back some of the speed increases for it. So my opinion on this is if they slow the base speeds down, but they get rid of the deliberate delays, because what they're kind of doing right now is you can do things very quickly, but you can't string things together very well without hitting delays, right? Like you can't do a dive and then hop up and do something else, right? There's a delay that takes place every time you do an action. There's like a delay, and it's better than it was. Like MW2 is the ultimate delay zone, but there's still a lot of these delays in there. There's still a lot of like, you do an action and then you have to wait until your action is complete and then you can do the next action.
Well, it's just not as responsive like we've talked about. Like you do these things over on Black Ops 6 and it's like it's smooth as butter. They did a great job over there. Like I fucking love the Omni movement. And I mean, it's not that bad to me in Warzone, but I can tell a difference in those delays that you're talking about. And it's just the responsiveness too. Like,
and the one I always point to is like the most obvious one is like when you hit the ground after parachuting. It's like you got to spend 27 minutes putting your parachute away and like calling mom and telling her you got there before you can start getting into a gunfight, right? Like you just can't drop in hot, right? Which late game, if you get bought back late, like you're just screwed, because even if you can get to the ground, you can't do anything when you get there. We'll talk about what they do that in a minute. Put a pin in that one. But if they slow it down, but they get rid of the delays on everything, then I think it's W. I think it'll balance better. And if you remember Warzone 1, it had that MW 2019 movement where you could string together movement. You could, sprint, go into a slide cancel, hop up and be bunny hopping, right? Like you could slide through a doorway and then bunny hop, or laterally, at your target, and you just can't do that now, right? There's no momentum. There's none of that's there, right? And they want you to make one move. Like it's like what they want you to do is they want you to commit to making one movement. If you're going to backwards dive, you're going to backwards dive and you're going to just lay there and shoot at somebody, which is all fine and good when it works out. But when I anticipate that you're going to do that and I just follow you down because aim assist and shoot your body on the ground, you're just screwed, right? You have no recourse. It either works or you're dead. And, versus Warzone 1, where you could do a move and then it transitions to another move, right? Slide cancel to bunny hop, for example.
I know that was the whole complaint people had, is like, oh my God, I don't want to have to use a combination of buttons, as if button combinations haven't been in fucking video games since the Nintendo Entertainment System. But I digress.
Well, I'll point out that it probably felt unhanded to a lot of people, myself included, because of FOV. So I will get to experience Verdansk with 120 FOV for the first time.
Same here.
So I am excited about that.
That was my biggest complaint about that. I never really had a lot of complaints about Verdansk, but it was not having the FOV or being able to turn cross-plat off.
Cross-plat off for sure, but I did not understand FOV and the difference it was making in the game until that we got it in MW2, like as a console player. Like I understood from a like I could see the image and I could understand it. But understanding how the movement worked between two different players, right? And why 80 FOV was such a disadvantage in a close quarters gunfight.
Right.
And why the movement was so problematic. in that scenario versus if everybody's at the same FOV, a lot of that kind of goes away. And then you can do things like focus on movement and stuff, and it becomes easier to handle.
Well, and now that it is that way for everyone, you're not seeing all the clips of, I mean, except for the obvious dumb fucks over on Twitter, like look at
Who are probably cheating
look
anyways,
at what
let's be honest.
exactly. Look what I'm doing to these old heads or whatever. Like, but you're not seeing like the movement. Like I just put somebody on skates clips that often anymore because it's kind of hard to do unless they're a complete trash can.
Yep. So working good. And then what else? So that's going to change. That's good.
Just don't touch my backward slide. That just fucking leave that in there, please, for the love of God. I don't care if you take out the sideways shit. I don't care. Leave the backward slide in there because that's my favorite move.
No promises.
I'm blaming
going
you
up to 150 players. The getting rid of Graves and that fucking dancing screen.
Oh, that's going away?
I think so. Infill and exfil cinematics are different. And let's see. Oh yeah. Shooting during free fall. I gave as good as I got in it. The thing that frustrated me was when you would have a long flight to where you want to go and somebody strips half your plates off and you've got to cut your shoot early. That to me always pissed me off because then, I get into the gunfight. I'm already down a couple plates. However, I think I hated it the most in Caldera. And I think the map had a lot to do with that because you were just limited on where you could go. And so it was always more crowded. And so if you lost plates early, you were just extra hosed. Also, the thing that I'm excited about that getting rid of it has screwed up fighting when you hit the ground after you parachute. You can't drop in and get into a gunfight right away. We talked about this a minute ago. That goes away. That problem goes away because now I can fire at you as I drop in. So
I mean, listen. Mixed
bag, probably.
I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it when it was in the original. I thought it was dumb as fuck. It just didn't make sense to me. I never liked it. And it wasn't because I couldn't do it. I just didn't like it. Like, to me, I don't like the idea of trying to get to my drop and I have some douchebag behind me trying to take my fucking plates, and then he peels off and goes to his landing zone. I have to drop on mine, and I'm a little bit late because I'm trying to dodge this stupid fuck behind me. And then I get there, and I have no goddamn plates. I have no weapon. And the one thing I hope they do change is the starting weapon. Like, give us back that Glock, because this SIG pistol that we have is dog shit as far as fire rate.
We're getting the 9mm.
Huh?
They say we're getting the 9mm.
Good. So, but I will, like I said on Twitter the other day, if I will take this if it's a trade-off for all the resurgence cheese that they added in and they're taking it out. Like if the game, if it truly does play like it did in OG Verdansk, I'll deal with it. It'll just be like a get off my lawn kind of little irritant thing to me, but I'll deal with it. So
they're bringing back all the OG graphics, like the supply boxes, all go back to the way they were. Floating loot. The loot pool is getting redone, obviously. They're redoing the interface, and let's see here. You get to redo your okay. So we get to keep our weapons. So they're saying your loadouts will be primary pistol, melee, tacticals, lethals, 3 perks, and a wild card. So they're not changing that.
I don't mind the wild card. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't really mind it so much.
I just think it's kind of pointless.
I mean, I'd be curious what.
It's pointless. There's two wild cards. There's 2 wild cards. There's 2.
Yeah,
There's only 2.
Be curious what
overkill and gunfighter.
I'd be curious what the kilo looks like with 8 fucking attachments on it.
0 recoil.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, but is it going to function the same way it did over there?
We'll find out. Buy station goes back to the vertical loadout or vertical list at the bid season update, so that'll be cool. Ditching a ton of bullshit No more gas grenades. No more electrical grenades.
Those are actually going. So keep in mind, I was at that trade show, dude. So I didn't get to dial in and read the entire blog. So they're getting rid of those.
So they're resetting us to the original equipment. We're getting. Let's see here. We're getting the Muni box, the heartbeat sensor, deployable cover, PDS, trophy system, loadout drop, armor box, and recon drone.
Did you say the portable radar's going away?
Portable radar.
The little radar domes that you throw down?
I don't see them here. Yeah.
Oh, damn it, man! I liked those. A lot of info out of that.
Yeah, I like those too. That might be. I don't know. We'll see. Because I think this is just what they have available to buy. No, I think it's going away. Bummer. Kill streaks, UAV, advanced UAV, precision airstrike, cluster strike, and bunker buster. So they're keeping the bunker buster, and and everything's supposed to behave like it used to. So hopefully we can actually kill somebody, like down somebody, then hit them with these things.
We'll see.
Because that's been a pain in the ass. Equipment, we get the flashbang, the smoke grenade, concussion grenade, decoy grenade, snapshot, stim, frag, semtex, C4, spring mine, Molotov, and throwing knives.
I went back to the throwing knives, actually.
Yeah, I love throwing knives.
So the impact grenade's going away?
I used to get so mad when I got throwing knives because it was so cheesy, I thought. And then I learned to use them, and then they took away one shot, and I got like, you fucking bastard.
I just like it for honestly, I like it for the cleanups. Like it's a quick cleanup.
Well, because sometimes you can spend like half a mag or a whole mag just downing somebody, depending on how much health they have.
So you didn't play Blackout, right? Like, so that was kind of the thing. This is funny because it was like in Blackout when you downed somebody, if you finished them, they called you a thirsty bastard, and like that was like a negative connotation because you finished your kill, you didn't go and fight the rest of the team or whatever. But the thing about it is here in Warzone, with everybody having a fucking selfie or whatever, you have to finish. You have to. It's no longer considered thirsty, I don't think, anymore, like it was in Blackout. Like, seriously, like that was a bad thing. Like, they talked mad shit to you if you fucking finished them, like when they were knocked before you killed the rest of their teammates.
Well, I just had you can't do. Did you have a self revive back then?
I don't think so.
Well, then, yeah, it's a different scenario. I had one. Early game, like right off rip, I dropped in and went 1v4 in a squad. I got 3 of them dead, or 3 of them downed, and I didn't finish any of them. One of those guys had picked up a self revive and shot me in the back as I was getting ready. Like I had the last guy running away, and I was just standing in the street, hitting him in the back with the pistol as he ran. I had him cracked and then some. He was probably 1 or 2 shot, and I was going to get a full squad wipe, and that was going to be the clip of my life. And then I got executed because the motherfucker had a self-revive that he picked up out of a box before I downed him, rezzed, and fucking killed me. And then picked everybody up. And I got no kills out of it.
That's wild, dude.
This is that's awesome face. So yeah, thirst everybody.
Yeah, fuck them.
And it ain't bad.
Hey, listen, I don't care, dude, because also, too, I die to some bullshit just like all the rest of y'all do, so fuck it. I'm going to get my kills. Oh, by the way, if you're AFK in the gulag, fuck you. I'm killing you. I don't care.
I'm
taking my free kill, bitch.
Out of spite.
Because I died of cheese in that MF. Hey,
yep.
So the PPSH is going away, isn't it?
In the gulag?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Surely it is, right?
I hope so.
Surely it is.
What a terrible
dude! I got that 4 times in a row yesterday.
It's like, what is it? It's like the second circle through like the 4th circle that you get it, I think. Because like the very first one, if you die off rip, I think you get the KSV. And then if you die a little bit later, you get the PPSH for the bulk of the gulag. So if you die when everybody else dies, you get the PPSH. And then at the end, you get a cipher. Late game, you get a cipher.
That cipher is legit. But you know what? I wish there was a way for them to just make it pistols only in the gulag the entire time, and then when you come back, like they just give you a different weapon or whatever. Like when you're, but that might be too much.
I'd have fun with that.
Yeah, like
I think my favorite was they gave you a sniper. They this was a it wasn't Caldera. I think it might have been
it was
Caldera, or it was
Caldera.
the
They were
end
doing
of.
that dumb shit.
They give you a sniper and your hands,
Yep.
and that was your gulag loadout. The number of times that I just sprinted straight at the other spawn, and they were like they would like try and quick scope or hard scope in, and they didn't land like the right shot, so I'd be down half health, but I would just get up on them and just beat them down. It was glorious. I had so much fun with that. I hope they bring back some really interesting gulag loadouts. I feel like gulag loadouts have just been blasé at best and trash for the rest of them.
Yeah, just don't let them be dog shit. Like, don't put the worst fucking gun. And again, I still don't
put guns in that are interesting.
Yeah, I still
like put in combinations that are interesting.
I still don't understand why they brought the PPSH back anyway. Like, out of all the SMGs that they could have brought back from fucking the Black Ops series, they bring that one. Like, on top of it being the biggest piece of shit. Like, I don't understand. I'm glad that fucking thing's going away.
It's annoying. They brought back a bunch of contracts, so
it's just the normal contracts like the Intel, the Scabby.
Well, no, because they scrapped the contract. So, like, you know, it's so Bounty, Most Wanted, and Scav all behave the same. Yeah. Hopefully, the Scav doesn't send you 800 meters every in 6 different directions to get your boxes.
They've really dialed that in actually within the last couple seasons.
But they got rid of the Intel one and they're bringing back Recon.
Yeah, I meant to say Recon, which is cool.
Yeah, Supply Run. Do you remember that one? Supply Run's coming back. Contract multipliers are back, so string them together to get your XP up.
That's dope.
Big Game Bounty and Train Recon. So if you don't remember, if you hop on the train and you pull that thing, the longer you stay on the train, the more circles you get. So you could actually get all the circles revealed depending on where the train is and how it runs. We get the train back mid-season, I think.
No, I thought it was coming back right away. I thought.
Or soon. It's not. It's coming.
Because it's supposed to be moving.
I don't think it's at launch.
Dude, that's where Riddick always liked to drop because there were always the legendary chests on there. And then we'd hop off at Hospital or whatever and hit that buy over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're bringing the flag back to the Gulag, which
Wait, what?
Fuck that. The flag comes back to the Gulag. No more zips.
Why? Why? Okay. Time out. Just make it where you have to fight to get out of there. Like, that's all you have to fucking do. Like, make it where you have to fight to get out of there. You can't be a bitch and pop smoke and hit a fucking zip line or whatever, which I have done a couple times. But I didn't like the flag because it was inconsistent too. That was the biggest issue that I had with the damn thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. And defending the flag is really difficult because a lot of times if they hit the flag and you're not looking at it, if you aren't baiting the flag, then you don't have enough time to actually kill them with most of the guns you get in the Gulag before it ends.
Shit, I'd rather they brought back a 2v2 Gulag than put that fucking flag in there.
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest L so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Vehicles are all coming. The vehicles are all basically reverting. I think the only one that they're keeping the same is the that Polaris.
Yeah, the little quad track, whatever.
And the LTV is replacing the truck.
Well, I thought they're bringing back Bertha,
like the Jeep.
Okay.
Or the Humvee. Oh no, whatever it was. So the LTV and the Polaris stay. We get the original. Oh shit, hit the wrong button. We get the original ATV and cargo truck and the heli, and so they kind of imply that everything should feel similar to what we had before. So cool.
They mentioned in that
they say that you can use it as a blunt, the heli as a blunt explosive implement, which implies to me that the movement that the feel of it's coming back.
Well, and they mentioned too in that podcast, the COD podcast, that talking about like hitting somebody with the blades. So, because you always had people that was the other cheese, like that was Riddick, dude. This motherfucker would drop out of the plane, grab a heli real quick and have like 4 or 5 kills before we even hit the ground because he would just go through and like mow people.
That was me. Yep. 100%. Love it.
Cheese.
Can't wait to have that come back. Let's see. Then, all right. So doing all that cool stuff. Vehicles should be better. Circle collapse is going back to the way it was, the original circles. So, and they say they're trying to get rid of the dead zone endings. So cool. Already mentioned zip lines are coming back later in season 3. Train station interior mid-season, original moving train mid-season, blank stadium interior access mid-season. So very cool. Squad redeployment at buy stations, awesome new feature. You can just hit one button and buy everybody back.
Yeah, that's a win for sure.
Weapon inspect. If you pick up ground loot or somebody's dog shit loadout, you want to know what never to build. You can do a weapon inspect, and it will actually show the attachments. So that's cool. Actually give a reason to weapon inspect. Let's see here. Attack map improvements, whatever. Detailed death recap widget. Huge. It's going to be a big change, I think, or it'll be broken and never work right. Take your pick. But it's going to be good to know. So it's essentially what this widget will do is it will tell you what's going on. So the "how did he know I was there" statement, right? It will tell you how he knows you were there.
Do you know how many fucking times I hear that a day when I play with some people?
Myself included, yeah.
It's fucking it. There's a UAV up. That's how.
Yeah. You were on the mini map.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're going to roll out new stuff as the season goes on, as we go on. But it'll launch. It'll tell you if you were live pinged. It'll tell you if you were on a UAV or an unsuppressed weapon that wasn't. So you were firing an unsuppressed weapon that put you on the mini map, right?
There are still going to be people who won't believe it.
Well,
they are.
It's going to expose. They're going to expose themselves as being idiots if they don't. How do they know I was there? Well, you were on the fucking mini map. That's how you know. Let me introduce you to what the mini map is.
What's the mini map?
Dude, I used to play with this guy. I swear to God, he didn't know the mini map existed. No matter how many times I yelled at him, look at the fucking mini map, and it would be like, literally, like I would get bopped in the head when one-shot snipers didn't one-shot. And I would like have to duck down. Like we played a lot of Resurgence, and it would be like he's in the tower, he's in the lighthouse tower, right? Like that's not hard to figure out where he is. And he'd be like, "Can you ping him?" No, look at the mini map. He's on the mini map. He's in the tower. That's not hard to do. Just shoot at him so I can get out of here and replay it. I need you to ping him. I don't know where he is. Bruh, mini maps exist for a reason. Learn it.
I agree. I got into it with one of the guys I was playing with a few days ago over it. I'm like, fucking, it's like, Jesus Christ, you turn into fucking Helen Keller, like when it comes to that mini map. You don't see shit, you don't hear shit. Like, it's happened a couple times, and I always say, look at your goddamn mini map. Like, you can see when I'm moving, you can see which direction I'm going, you can even see which direction I'm shooting. Like at the bare minimum, that's a decent amount of intel right there.
There's a lot of intel that you can get if you're paying. And look, I get it. You're in a firefight. You're not going to spend your whole day looking at something else.
I'm not going to give you a fucking dissertation on what's going on right now. Like, look at the goddamn mini map. If I can make a good call out, I will. But at the very least, that's what you have. It's one of the oldest features in Call of Duty.
Yep.
Anyway,
before originally, I think it was just a compass. We didn't have a mini map. We had a compass, like a little round compass, and little dots would show up.
Yeah, now they got it up to the top, and you know what's funny? Like, and I'm not saying this to make fun of him at all, because he's a fucking phenomenal player and one of my favorite people to play with. Lizard didn't know what that meant. If I said North 268. He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, the compass up at the top. But I think you can turn that off. You can. So he may not have his on.
A lot of people do turn it off because a lot of people will turn it off because they don't need it. They can just make call outs based on locations.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. No, and it's
So-
and that's probably
And here's the problem: if you're me, like if you call out 265, I'm gonna be like, oh cool, there's 260. There it is.
yeah. No, I mean obviously you want to make
So-
better call outs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, use your mini map. It's still going to be there. Pings on the mini map, and now they're going to tell you that you were pinged on the mini map when you die. So overall, W. Cool. Then let's hear a bunch of little junk going on. We're going to get Verdansk and Rebirth Island. Rebirth Island. I guess they're going to give us a week before they bring Rebirth Island back in Resurgence.
Oh, I don't know.
So at launch, we're only going to have BR, Plunder, and then 2, like, they're going to bring boot camp and then casual mode, which, let's be honest, casual mode is going to be all content creators looking for clips.
I don't understand that, dude. Like nobody really even cares about the clips anymore anyway. It's more people like
Yeah, you can't make a living off
it's
clips.
more people like
Unless you're no, I take
Expel
that back.
tell
Unless you're
a
crossbow
story,
Mike.
you know, like that are telling a story. That's the big content creators. Who gives a fuck?
No, I'll tell you, unless you're crossbow Mike, who can just sit there all day long and just hit ridiculous fucking shots with the crossbow, and everybody will be like, fucking what? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta do something crazy like that. Just your average clips don't go anywhere anymore. So those modes, that'll be cool. Rebirth comes back after like a week or something like that, so we get Resurgence again. Make everybody happy, and then 150 players, 25-minute matches, versus we're at like 120 players and 22-minute matches or 21-minute matches, something like that. I forget. And that counter goes from infill till final circle, right? So I think that's the timing on that. Plunder comes with 100 players, and then ranked at midseason. So everybody gets a break from ranked. Let's see here. Then there's going to be some stuff going on midseason. We'll talk about that later. Early Return to Verdansk. We kind of talked about this event a little bit. You get some free shit for logging in on the 2nd. And then if you've played Verdansk before, you get more free shit. And then there's safes and some other stuff going on. So cool. Glad they're doing some stuff that's not terrible. Weapons we've talked about already.
No, the one thing we didn't say is that the Grau is going to be a conversion kit.
It's gonna suck.
Dude,
It'll be a black eye on this because it's gonna suck unless they change it from sniper ammo. Because right now the 5.56 takes sniper ammo, so the Grau would take sniper ammo unless they make that adjustment.
Well, obviously,
which they haven't done in the past. There other weapons they've converted.
they'll have to.
They haven't switched over.
They'll have to because there's no way they're going to leave it the same. But my point is that if you use the conversion kit, that means you only get 4 attachments. So what other attachment comes with it, right? Like,
well, you put the monolithic suppressor on, you put the 50-round mag on, you put an optic
it
on.
should be 60 personally. And you know, Controversial had a really good tweet about this, like where he listed off the things that are going to be fucked up with this gun. And it was especially the biggest thing was the mag that I saw.
Mhm.
So
yeah. So we'll see. So we'll see. We'll see how they do it. You know, they could make it work. Like it could, you know, aside from the 10 extra bullets, they could make it work, or it'll just be kind of like, you know, disappointing. But between the Kilo and the AMAX, hopefully everybody has enough okay on it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Launches on the 3rd. You can buy shit from their physical store if you want. And yeah. All right. So that's that. All in all, I will say this. They are hitting the right notes. They're doing it. They're saying the right things. They're saying the things we need them to say. They are. They are giving us, and you and I have talked about this repeatedly. What do they need? What do they need to do? Well, they're doing. The other thing I didn't mention, I didn't come across on that, but they've said it before. They're changing the default loadouts. So people who come back who are level 1 because they haven't played, they're going to get kilo based
Meta adjacent.
like a kilo based meta adjacent loadout, default loadout. So everybody gets to play. Okay. And if they do a good ground loot, it won't matter because there's going to be good shit on the ground. So all in all, they have said everything they need to say. I will put my foot on this. They have said everything they need to say. They have outlined, they have pictured it, they have described it, they have stated what they are doing. And it is everything this game needs to be back. There is one thing they have left to do. Fucking execute it.
If they execute
right.
just even half of this off the rip, I think it's a win. I mean, again,
if 5 days from launch, if by I'm going to give them almost a week. If by Wednesday of the next week, they have 75% of this working properly, that they're doing great.
Yeah.
They're in a great spot.
And again, if you're going into this expecting everything to be 100% working, you're crazy. Because it's not going to.
Something's going to be broken.
There will be issues there, so let's manage our own expectations. You can have hope and optimism.
Give it a couple of days. Give it a couple of days, get shit working, because everybody will forgive a day one thing that doesn't quite work right if on day 5 everything works great and it stays working.
Sure.
But speaking of something that has to work on day 1, they gave us an update on their anti-cheat.
Yeah, I actually read that blog.
Yeah, it didn't say as much as I wanted it to, but that's not unnormal.
They're not going to, and they said for security purposes, there was stuff they had to leave out.
Obviously,
but they highlighted, how many of these cheap providers and fucking dealers that they've shut down, which is cool. Yep. And it sounds like they're going to do exactly what you said about, talking about their wins. When they shut them down, they need to be talking about them, letting people know. I mean, you're still going to have those people, like I know a few that are just like, oh, well, fuck it. They'll just open up another one on me or, whatever. But celebrate the wins.
Which there's track record for. I don't want to dismiss those concerns because there's a track record for this.
There is, but celebrate the wins. Jesus Christ. They're trying.
I'll say this. I'll say this. There's, how do I say this properly? There are wins on day 1, and we've had day 1 wins before. I don't care about day 1 wins. I care about day 20 wins. Talk to me in 2-3 weeks. Let's see what's still working.
Yeah, we're going to know.
Right? And I'll hit on that in a second. That's the important part, is what stays broken. Because, so here's what's going on. And I just did a video on this. If you've seen this, if you saw the video, then, sorry for repeating. But in the past, when they've taken down cheap, so their Ricochet hasn't detected fucking anybody. All right. I don't think it's actually detected any providers outright. It detects 2 things. One, people who screw up loading their cheats in, right? So like there's a specific process to load cheats into the game, right? Involving booting your computer in the right order with, a boot from thumb drive shit. Like there's a process to it. It's not just like you double click a thing on your desktop. Okay. You do the process, then you load the game. If you screw up the process, then it doesn't load properly and the game and Ricochet will find it. Okay. As an individual. I don't think Ricochet has actually detected any providers. I think every shutdown, every detection that we've had since it launched was manual. They programmed it to defeat the cheat system, and it did that. And as soon as they do that, the cheat providers take their shit down, change it, and put it back up. So you're down for a couple of days tops, and they're back up. And they've gotten very, very good at this. They are like, some of them are up within hours of being detected. Okay. As a result, cheat providers have been really, really cocky. I don't know how else to put it. They're just really cocky. So the issue is going to be what to do. So we just had yesterday, day before yesterday, they actually went after our old friends, the Unlock Tool kids, the Unlock All kids that tool their accounts and get all the camos and stuff, and got them all. Went after all of them, everybody. You mess with your camos, they went after you and tried to ban you. which is amazing they took this long, because that should be the easiest fucking catch ever. Oh, your gun is a level 3 and with a mastery camo on it? Guess what? Not possible. Right? And so they banned a whole ton of people. A lot of people are taking a lot of vacations this weekend as people deal with a 72-hour ban they caught from it. But I will say this. I keep track of these providers. I talk to people that make cheats. I talk to people that use cheats, and they send me information, right? And I network with people that also do this on their end. So, I get to see a lot of the behind the scenes and what these providers tell their customers, right? Not try and advertise everybody. That whole ecosystem is shut down. Nobody can do it anymore. And nobody is even looking at it like, oh yeah, we'll be back. They're like, we're not going to be back, which I cannot stress enough. I've never seen that. I've never seen that from a provider. Every single time, detections, updates, whatever, it's down today. We'll let you know when it's back, and we'll credit you the time. You'll be fine. No. It's gone. Like the whole unlocked tools, they're all gone. And the few providers that are hanging on to it are kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. So I think there's a lot going on that we're not privy to, which is good. My question is, will they keep it up? I don't know. I think that's the whole point of this whole post. Everything they say, they can do it all day one, right? And they've done it repeatedly. They'll detect people. They'll make changes to the anti-cheat, make it tougher. Everybody will go offline. We'll have a day or two of nobody's cheating, and then it all comes right back. On this one, it looks like they've killed that industry. The question is, will they stay on top of it? Or will they just put a lid on it, put it on their shelf, and not come back to it again? That, to me, is one of the big questions, right? And honestly, it's what they need. They need to stay on top of it long term. Everything they're doing, again, has been great on paper. It's great on day one. Some of the things that I think that they are doing for the anti-cheat going forward, once it launches, I think will knock most cheat providers currently out. And the question will be, how long do they stay on top of it before they're able to get back in? So, the blog doesn't tell us much. They don't give away a lot of information. There's one other thing I want to talk about here that's kind of related, but I think at the end of the day, they're doing stuff for the first time, and they're giving us wins, and they're using their legal arm to do some business as well. I think they said 20 providers are down and tons of resellers are down. So anybody who doesn't know the difference between a provider and a reseller, provider develops the cheats. They're the developers. They make them. Then what they do is they kind of it's like multi-level marketing, right? They will wholesale access, like keys or seats, you'll hear it called. They'll wholesale that to people, and then those people will, under their own brand, resell them. And so a reseller might sell 2 or 3 different cheat providers, right? And then what they're literally just like a retailer versus a wholesaler. And so providers make the cheats, resell them. Okay. You take the resellers down, that's a dime a dozen. Those are the ones that rebrand usually. Like when in the past, when someone, a cheat seller goes down, they just create a new Discord and come right back, right? Because they're not doing anything. They're not making cheats. They're just reselling it. Cheat providers are doing the software work. Like they're the actual hackers that program all that shit. So when those guys are going down right now, that's a different story. Okay. We're seeing all the right things from these guys. They're not happy. They're not as confident and boisterous as they've been in the past. Like I've read back on some of these Discords to previous changes, updates, and detections. And like I said, it's just like, all right, give us a couple days. We'll credit you for the time you're down for. If you got banned on your primary account, sorry. Right? Now it's, on this one specifically, it's not coming back. We don't see a way around it right now. So sorry, closed closed product. So good. But they do talk about in the blog, going back to the blog, they talk about shadow ban lobbies. This is, I think, the first time they've acknowledged that shadow ban lobbies exist, and they've used that phrase.
Can we circle back to the camo glitch thing and unlock tool?
Sure.
So I just wanted to say this. As far as the camo glitch thing, I don't have any like moral objection to it other than to say, knowing what we know, if you fucking do it and then you catch a ban, I don't want to hear you complain about it. Like you know they don't like people that do exploits or glitches and take advantage of those, especially ones that could potentially
be back in a second.
Impact the amount of playtime metric that they have, or if it impacts the store, then that's going to be an issue. And as far as like the unlock tools go, I mean, listen, if you use an unlock tool, you should catch a permanent ban. And you want to know why that is? That's because the people that have those unlock tools are the same companies that provide the other cheats. So essentially, whether you're using walls or aimbot or, ESP, any of that other nonsense, it doesn't fucking matter. You're still supporting that industry. So you deserve a ban, a permanent ban for using an unlock tool. It is what it is, guys. So I don't feel bad about saying that. And, I'll stand by what I said. Also, too, I wanted to point out there's something weird going on with this chat because I'm seeing messages from Silencer on stuff that we covered 15 minutes ago, like pop in. So, there's something weird going on with the chat. But, yeah, I think that it was nice to get that blog on the anti-cheat, but I agree with Sub as far as like it's gonna, the proof is more or less in the pudding. It's gonna be how this thing is performing 3 weeks from now, a month from now, because they might temporarily knock things offline, but if it's only temporary and then we come back and there's a shit ton of cheaters and a big issue again, that's a problem. So I'm going to remain optimistic, just like I am about the other things that we talked about from the original Verdansk, welcome back to Verdansk blog that they did, or whatever it was called. So, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We are on Twitch, Silencer. We're over on Twitch. It's live right now. I don't know what he's got going on. He may be feeding a cow or a rooster or something. Who knows? But anyway, so, I mean, listen, they dumped a shit ton of information on us in a 2 or 3 day period. So, I'm optimistic about this anti-cheat thing. We'll see how it works. But yeah, looks like the man is back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. All right. Zoom. Come on. Hey. Hello. Find me a camera.
So anyway, back to your blog.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to get the camera fucking zoom on my face.
Is this the new one?
Awesome. Yeah.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I'm sitting here looking at what we have going on, and it's fucking bugging me. Like, really bad, dude. Because it's using the goddamn camera from my laptop and not my webcam. This looks like shit. I look pasty as fuck.
Anyway, so you were mentioning the camo issue, right? So I think that's more common than we suspect. I think a lot of people have been using that. And to be honest, I actually kind of think it might be related to there might be some relation to shadow bans.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they're related. I think what happens is Ricochet, which was again an AI-based program, right? They designed it to run automated, basically, so they didn't have to spend money on people looking at shit. And my theory, my opinion, I think that Ricochet could identify stuff like unlock tools and the footprint and the fingerprints that unlock tools, the fingerprints that the unlock tools left on your account and things that weren't right. But it wasn't programmed to like think through what that could be. It just saw something that's weird.
Sure.
So when you get reported by someone that it trusts, okay, I think that's a factor. You get reported by someone that the system trusts to make good reports. It looks at your account and it sees something. It doesn't know what it is. It sees the camo glitch, or sometimes, it could be VPN agent or Warzone agent. I'm sorry, Warzone agent or something like that. It sees something. It doesn't know what to make of it. And it puts you in a shadow ban. And I really think that a lot of people who would get stuck in these shadow ban loops did a camo glitch, paid someone to level their weapons who just unlock tooled it, right? Because even though the unlock tool is a cheat, it is made by cheat providers. It uses the cheating system. I will say probably 90+% of people who are not just complete cheaters, right? Who utilized a camo tool did so by doing something like paying some guy on Twitter to level their guns. Oh, I'm doing that again. Or do something like that. And the reality is that those people use the tool, and the tool is kind of a one-off thing. Okay. It's not like cheats that have to be running all the time and always be used. It's you use it once and you have the stuff unlocked. That's how it works. Okay. That's what it does. And so if you're if you're someone who just didn't want to go through that process on your own and you decided to take the lazy way out and you paid someone and they unlock tooled you, like, that would be a stain on your account. And that would just always be spotted when someone reported you.
You know a solution for that?
Level your own shit.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious, right? But all right, so if Call of Duty wants to promote these camos and things like that, we know they already give creators, especially the big ones, access to a lot of this shit early, or like codes or whatever. Just fucking,
they don't do that anymore.
They should. That'd probably solve a lot of the issues, because
they used to.
I do get that sitting there watching fucking Lucky Shamu grind camos is really not on my fucking, top of
it's boring
things
as shit.
To do. I don't want to do it.
I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I'll do it on
It's boring
stream.
as shit to do, much less watch.
I'll do it on stream, but I only got like usually 10 or 15 people in there. So,
Yeah.
and it's usually early on.
But people watch you for your sparkling personality.
100%. 100%, But
yeah, that's why everyone's here tuning in.
But like, just give them the fucking access to it or whatever. I don't really care. These dudes are playing 8 to 10 hours a day or whatever. I mean, it's wild to me that they can't just take a couple hours of that and do it. But I also understand nobody wants to watch Joe grind camos,
Well, and a lot of people are will be like Warzone creators, so they only play Warzone on stream. They don't play multi on stream. And so look, from a business standpoint, it makes sense. Pay somebody else to do the bullshit while you're asleep, and then you don't have to, you never have to touch multiplayer.
But if you do that,
look, you're not going to hear me argue that like that sort of thing is not like, doesn't make sense.
Just
whether you should or shouldn't isn't in question.
It's too risky to do that though, dude. You can't fucking trust people with your account. Like, I will never give anybody access to my account. Fuck that. So. And I've just always been of the mindset too that it's like, if I want something bad enough, I'm going to grind myself and get it. And if I don't want it that bad, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, and I want to earn it on my own. I don't want somebody else doing something for me. I don't understand that.
I don't want stuff. I don't want that shit handed to me.
No.
I want to feel prideful that I did it, that I earned it, that I worked for it, all that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I personally I would never do it. It's not worth it to me. However, I can also, I can step back and I can think about it from the point of view of a business. If your business is streaming, is entertaining people playing Warzone, right? Sitting there slogging through multiplayer looking for headshots, or, MW2 doing long shot kills. Jesus Christ, that sucked. Like, no one would watch that. Like, you would lose so much money.
Yeah.
Doing that. It's not worth it,
guys,
right? It's not worth it. So I get it. I do. But you're also not supposed to, and you do it at your own risk, right?
Yeah.
And so I think I think a lot of people, way more than we are aware of and have admitted to, I think a lot of people have paid for it, right? And I will give the benefit of the doubt. I will say most people have believed that they paid somebody, some kid in college or whatever, to sit there and do the work. I will give that benefit of the doubt, that you thought you paid somebody to sit there and play it while you were asleep, and they just went and tooled your account and handed it back to you. Okay, doesn't change the fact that they tooled the account. Okay, doesn't do it. Doesn't change it. So I think what happened at the end of the day, I think the net result of that was that there was a lot of accounts, a lot of high level accounts that were frequently getting shadow banned because they would just get reported and the system would pick up that the account had been tooled at some point, something had been unlocked. And it could have been something from MW2 or something like that, like years ago on your account that you did it. And as a result, it didn't know what to do with you because it recognized something's wrong with your account. Something shouldn't be there, but it's also not programmed to identify things like camo tools or weapon tooling. And so as a result, it would flag your account as something's wrong, put it into its AI-based observation shadow ban limited matchmaking mode, and it wouldn't pick up any cheats. Right? It wouldn't detect any weird behavior because you just play normally. Like you're still playing the account, or you do it, or you didn't play it. Right? And so as a result, it never took any action. You would just get returned to it. And then you get reported again in a couple days, probably. And all of us, and this process starts again. I'm going to point to, there's been a lot of creators that get on these, there's a lot of creators who are very good who don't regularly get shadow banned. They'll get it once in a while. And look, you can still get you could 2-box into a lobby, you could VPN into a lobby, you could just get randomly handed a lobby because you're playing at 6 a.m., right? And you just get into one of those lobbies and everybody reports you in the lobby because you just slay out. And that'll put you in a shadow ban too.
Well, you remember after the World Series of Warzone, like 75% of the people that actually competed on LAN were in a shadow ban loop. Like it was
because
weird.
I think because I again, it's hard to tell, right? And streamer mode hasn't really worked for a while. But I think tooling in some form or another has been tooling or in this case, camo glitching or doing something. I think a lot of that goes on and we didn't I don't I think we all assume a lot of that goes on, but I think it's way more prevalent than we're used to. And I think it's people pay these kids on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever to just get me these cameras, get this gun leveled up, right? Like, look, new gun comes out, I don't have time to screw with it tonight, can you get it leveled up for me? I'll pay you $10 or $50 or whatever the price is. And instead of actually doing the work, they go, sure, tooled.
Yeah.
And I think when you do that, that's what puts you in the shadow ban loop where you were just perpetually shadow banned. To be honest, I think that's it. I think that's a big part of the issue with these lobbies. So we'll find out next week, right? If all of a sudden these people who have had their stuff undone, if they're not perpetually put in that shadow ban loop, like, then I'm going to take that as a positive indication that that's been the issue.
But you know what, though? It's kind of like what we talked about the other day, yesterday on the phone. Like, to me, it just doesn't really... What they've done here is a slap on the wrist, right? Like, it has no fucking teeth to it. I realize why they can't do it from a business standpoint, but it's like, they may as well have not fucking done anything at all, dude. Like, you're punishing people 3 days on a map nobody wants to play. Anyway, like, oh, wow, God, you really got me. It's like when your parents used to send you to your room. It's like, if you want to punish me, send me to your room, not mine. Like, I just, to me, this just has no teeth, really.
Here's how I'll put it. Here's how I think about it. What's the speed limit on the freeway where you live?
It depends, 75, 80.
Texas. Out here it's 65. So we're gonna do California
Electric cars
because that
go
makes more
that
sense.
fast?
Yeah, if you zap them with lightning,
That's fucking great.
if they're DeLoreans, they'll hit
You need a
88.
flux capacitor, sir.
Anyway, speed limit 65, state of California, generally on the freeway. Nobody goes 65. Everybody goes 70 at minimum.
Well, they give you a 10%.
Still the limit, right? They don't enforce it, but limit 65. Everybody goes 70. A lot of people go 75. Some people go 80, right? If nobody enforces that and no one pulls you over for going 70 in a 65, are you going to go 65?
I always go 5 miles over the limit, minimum.
Does that mean the law changed? Does that mean that you're allowed to go 70, 5 over?
Not necessarily.
Not at all. The law is 65, right? But nobody enforces it, so you just go 5 over. If tomorrow you get on the freeway and it is lined with cop cars with the radar detectors and everybody going 70 gets pulled over, are you going to go 70?
No.
If you go 70 because you don't see them because they're hiding behind bushes and you get pulled over, are you going to contest the ticket on the basis of everybody else was going 70 and you've always gone 70? And it's never been a big deal?
Well, I mean, it depends on if they put a big fucking blog post out and then I got to hear everybody crying about it on Twitter. That's my fucking point.
But the reality is you got the law. It's always been the law. It's always been 65. That's your limit. That's as fast as you're allowed to go. But they haven't enforced it forever. And all of a sudden they do. And it's like the new sheriff's in town says, guess what? We want you to go 65 on the freeway.
That's not entirely true, though, dude. They've talked about these glitches and shit like that, like as far back as 2 or 3 years ago, though. And other games enforce
routinely,
too.
There are signs all over the freeway. 65. Stay
Other
alive.
games enforce that too. You know what I mean? Like, so.
But my point is, COD has never really enforced it. They've never enforced it on glitches. Occasionally, they'll revert shit or block it. Right. If you remember MW2, I used to, I had a perk package I could do whatever I wanted with. I could customize it when y'all couldn't.
Well, and
I didn't give that back because nobody was telling me to, right? But if they went out and they threw out a ban for anybody using a customized perk package, I would have gotten rid of that shit immediately.
Well, and again, you walked away when I said this. I don't have this moral objection to the glitching or whatever the fuck. I mean, I don't do it. If you do it and you get caught, don't fucking cry about it. It's to me, It's the unlock tools that I think they should have fucking like again just thrown the fucking book at, because even if they're not using walls and aimbot and everything else, that unlock tools are supported by companies that develop the cheats. So you fuck it, hit them with everything you have.
I will, and I'm going to point out too, when they change laws, you don't throw the book at everybody on day one. You don't. When you decide to start enforcing a law that hasn't been looked at in a long time, you don't throw the book at everybody. You give everybody the bare minimum the first time. And you say, look, you know you did bad. I know you did bad. Everybody knows you did bad. Don't ever do it again. You give them the minimum and you let them go. Okay? That is the most typical common thing. And right before Verdansk, considering how many big names are probably caught up in this, they cannot have the bad press of banning some people ultimately over cosmetics. Now, if they used other stuff, if there's any evidence they used anything else besides that, gone. They should be gone. However, if all they did was have pay some kid who unlocked their stuff 2 years ago in MW2, right? Come on. You can't throw the book at that and expect to have a good launch of Verdansk.
You can't ignore it and expect people to not do shady shit either.
No, but they threw a 72-hour ban. Like, everybody who used it got a ban.
A 72-hour ban on a fucking map nobody wants to play. Awesome. I'm sure they really
across
fucking
all the
learned
games.
their
Like
lesson.
they're on a 3-day vacation from COD, so they're taking the weekend off.
Yeah.
Think about what they did, and here's the point. From now on, it should permanent.
Agree.
Permaban. From now on, Everybody got warned. They got their shit. They got their candy taken away, and they got told, "Don't ever do it again." I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement. New sheriff in town. We're doing things differently. Don't fuck up again.
Zero tolerance on the unlock shit. The glitches, obviously, you should treat that a little bit different. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying perma ban those kids or whatever. Like, again, no moral objection to it other than it's kind of fucking dumb if you do it and then you get caught and cry about it. So again,
yeah.
Unlock tool, permaban, be done with it. But moving forward, there should be more than a 3-day punishment if you're caught using glitches and shit like that too.
Yeah, I mean, like
that's fair and
the rule.
Reasonable.
You know, it's I think it's a good reset. I think it's probably hard for the anti-cheat, for them to know what was tooled and what's not, especially on stuff that was done a while ago, like MW2 and MW3 era, where now the guns that were tooled are going to be leveled up, right? So it's not so obvious for a lot of that stuff that it was tooled and not camo swapped or something, right? People that are actively cheating are obviously going to get caught, but I think we're going to be, but again, I think for the basis of what we have, which was stop using unlocked tools, stop messing with camos and trying to put shit on that you're not supposed to have. I think that is a fair penalty. So yeah, we'll see. But again, I think that sort of thing that these tools and these things that people are doing to try and, get their hands on stuff. I think a lot of that has been the source of the shadow ban problems people have had, and it's like, I look at people that I know that have caught shadow bans, and a lot of them 2-box, a lot of them potentially use tools, a lot of them or have tooled in the past. A lot of people use VPN agent. And I think that the problem that we've had is over time, the anti-cheat knows something's up and they don't know what to do about it. Like, they just don't understand they know something's wrong and they don't know what it is, which, is a defect in the anti-cheat. It's something that you and I, anybody really would look at somebody who is a level 5, right, and has a fully maxed out gun with a mastery camo and know that's not right. Like, we would just look at that and go instantly, okay, so you're tooling at minimum. And if you killed me, you're probably cheating, right? But the anti-cheat is not programmed that way, right? It would just know, there's something messing with this account and I don't know what it is, but it's not programmed to compare all that stuff. And I think that's what they turned on. I think they changed that. So now it'll be like, oh, you're a level 1, you're level 5 and you have stuff you shouldn't have. Gone. So that's what I read out of it. They had some interesting stats. I think my favorite was, where is this one on this blog? Limited matchmaking, ranked play, count linking.
The 60% thing?
Yeah. I want to find it. I want to read it. Oh, where is it? Come on.
I tweeted about that.
They talk about spam reporting too, which was cool.
There's going to be some friends that I have that are going to fucking stick their fingers in their ear and be like, la, 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 I am not listening to you when you tell them that, because everybody's cheating. Obviously.
And I'll say right now, as of, I don't know about today, I didn't play last night, but, prior to this ban wave, I think the rate, I don't know that a lot of cheaters have stopped playing, but I think a lot of regular players have. I think our player count is so bad. So I think the last couple of weeks, the ratio of cheaters to players is out of control compared to normal.
I've run into a few, but I also had a lobby last night where even my people in my chat were like, did they already put bots in the game? Like, I legit wiped 4 people in about a minute.
Last night, I have heard last night was a great night to play.
Was.
And you know what? I will say this. I think it goes back to look at who's going to pay for unlocks, right? Guys that just want to grind, guys that don't want to play, people that only go, that don't play multi, and a lot of higher skilled players that, make a living at it. You take the higher percentage of players out of the game, and all of a sudden, the pools of matchmaking are a lot better.
Dude, I played with Lizard last night again, and we ended up getting another win. And I had a couple blender matches, but overall, it was It was a pretty good fucking night, dude. Especially when I was playing by myself and running solos. I'm not kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're shooting at somebody and they just keep running a fucking straight line, and I'm just like, even I'm like, that's got to be a bot, dude. No fucking way. Like I just don't understand that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great. Of course, I fucked
I
up
love,
at the end and I only dropped 12, but whatever.
Whatever. I'm looking at this. So here's the part. A super interesting phrasing on it, but they say over 60% of received cheater reporting in Call of Duty Warzone have been against console players, for example. They also say console cheating is possible. I think the first time they've acknowledged that. But our data has consistently shown it represents an extremely low population of detected cheaters when compared to PC.
Mm-hmm.
Also makes sense, which means exactly as you said. People get slammed and they get mad and they hit the cheat report, report cheaters.
You know what I wish they would add? I wish that they would let you get specific on what you think they did that was cheating, whether it's aimbot, walls, or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, if you go to report somebody, it's cheating and then like harassment and all the other bullshit. Like, but like be specific. Like, okay, well, this guy was using walls, and then they can look and be like, no, he wasn't using walls. Or they can be like, he wasn't using walls, but this motherfucker did have ESP and aimbot, so fuck him, he's banned.
Yeah. I think that if you want to report somebody for cheating, it should snapshot 45 seconds of gameplay up to that reporting point, and give it back and give it to you in theater mode. Like you should get an email, and you have to review the email, like and review the clip. And only after you review the clip can you actually submit the report. I think that's how it should work, to be honest, because most people probably won't follow through at the end of the day. Rage reporters won't follow through. The average person, a lot of times, will look at it, and it's not like a kill cam, it's like a legit theater mode, and be like, oh, shit, yeah, I could see him. And I'm going to point out, I had a follower send me something and be like, talk about it. And I did a little video on it where I like broke it down, and you could actually see the guy like from in the kill cam. I could see the player right briefly. So it's like all the information there was mini map, there was sound. I could actually see it for like a second. Right. And it really, you could look at it and break down. Okay. He knew you were there because of all these things. So he actually did know you were there. And when you looked at it, like it became obvious that it wasn't. And if more people could have that experience, right? Like imagine if people would post on Twitter, what do you guys think? Could he see me? Like, is this legit? And people could actually review it and look at it before you sent the report off. Imagine how much better the reporting system would be.
Yeah, you add that with the specifics of what you think they did that was cheating. I think it would be really good. But that to me, that should only be maybe a third or less than half of the anti-cheat, like in what makes the anti-cheat work, right? Like there still needs to be stuff on the Call of Duty and Warzone end of it, like more of that than relying so much on a lot of times people who don't even know what the fuck we're looking at. Because there's sometimes, dude, I'm like, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? Like, because I legitimately don't know. But then you still also have those people who report everybody they die to. So, and it wouldn't matter if they did what you said. They wouldn't care. Yeah,
well, yeah. But I mean, for a lot of people, like if you don't get, if you're playing and you don't get to like review it until the next day, like the rage reporters are not going to go through the effort. They're just not going to do it. So, I think I think there's some changes. They talk about how they're going to change the kill cams and make the kill cams better, in addition to like adding all the how they could see you shit. So hopefully hopefully they actually just issue a theater mode kill cam, right, where you can actually like, see the recording and not just this recreation. They've done an interesting thing. I don't know how much you've messed with this, but I actually have done it. So I will issue the public apology if anybody got shadow banned for my testing on this. I apologize. Reboot. I ran into somebody a couple days ago so they talk about spam reporting, right? And everybody says, "Oh, spam reporting works." I think I think they've gotten rid of spam reporting. Actually, I think they've done it successfully, minus the cheat. There was a brief period where the cheat maker could spam report it. I think that was more of a DDoS thing where they just broke the filter by slamming it with reports. I think that's how it worked. That being said, for the average person, you can't just slam reports down on somebody over and over again. It throws an error now. And you can't actually do the select all report anymore. So it used to be like somebody was cheating and you just selected all the options and hit submit and eventually something would happen sometimes. Okay, back in the day. You can't do that anymore. If you try to select more than one thing, it throws the same error as if you were spam reporting.
And so, it's funny that you bring that up because remember I told you last week we had that guy with the name Cum and the number one world number one in ranked top 250 emblem and World Series of Warzone thing, and he was a level like 43. I did end up, I reported him once, and then I was like, fuck this guy while I was watching him. I just kept like hitting it. You know what I mean? Because he legitimately was. You could go back and look at my VOD from that and see this fucker and it wasn't like a smooth transition. It was like tabbing, like bop, 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 with the aimbot. But I spam reported him and I still have yet to get anything back. And that was the most obvious
were you looking at the messages
I've seen on this map ever.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But I figured this out because I had one of those where this was like last week. Level 40. Even level 40. And he was and he had mastery camos and he had something else that was just obviously couldn't have. And he was running around slaying out. And so I went to report him, I went to do the spam select all. And it threw errors at me. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. It was you've already reported this guy. You can't report him anymore. So that's the new system.
That's interesting. I like we said on this other stuff, we'll know, 2 or 3 weeks out, but we are wrapping up, but I do want to make sure we point out a few things. Sub One has got his YouTube channel. It's, just look up Sub One KD over there on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe over there. We have the podcast Twitch page. It's twitch.tv/SAAG podcast. So there's our podcast Twitch channel, which we are trying to, we're live over there right now. Then I have my own, I stream just about every day, twitch.tv/J007TV. So if you guys would give those things a follow and be sure to follow us on our socials too for Twitter, the Slightly Above Average podcast.
Appreciate
That'd
that.
be awesome.
But thanks everybody for hopping in. We appreciate you. We're having a good time. Next time we talk, we'll be from Verdansk.
Hey, we're playing Thursday, right?
We're playing Thursday
morning. Yeah, we're gonna be doing it.
Yeah, gonna be hitting it. So Verdansk drops Thursday. Don't forget to log in the day before. Get your kilo, get your rewards, and when we come back next weekend, we'll have a lot of fun to talk about.
I think,
or it'll be bad. It'll be
that'll
trash.
be a long episode. I think.
Either way, we got a lot to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Till then, catch you on the flip side. This has been Sub One Kitty, along with J007TV and the Slightly Above Average Gaming Podcast. We're logging off now, so we'll see you next time.